Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Turfway Park. Rockin' Friday here at the track. $1 hot dogs, $1 beers, and $1 win place show bets here throughout the evening. 8 races on the card. Temperature here in Florence, 44 degrees. First post is in 41 minutes at 6:15. A couple of carryovers. The single six, which starts in race number 3, has a carryover of $3,582, and the high five offered in the 8th and final race, it's a $1 base bet. The carryover $2,456. First race tonight starts at pick 5 as always, and it is just a 15% takeout in that wager. Now the first race is a non-3 $7,500 claimant event, and they'll travel a mile and a 16th. This race is wide open. I think it's between 4 horses, probably the 2, 3, 6, and 7, but I end up going with number 6, Percat on top. Joe Deegan sends this one out. This is a 4-year-old gelded son by Arch. Rodney Prescott has the call, and I like this horse's chances in here. I like the horse taking a drop in class here in a field that I think there is a little bit of speed in here. I do think Rio Bueno will go. My Kind of Kid probably on the stretch out will show much more speed. Of course, Starlin has some speed. Don't have to use it, but I just think Percat drawn in the middle will get a good stalking ride from Rodney Prescott, and that is my top pick. For second, I went for number 3, Starlin. This is another one making a class drop now. Has never raced on the synthetic, but 2 back at Churchill ran a great race, was third beaten just a length. That was going 7 furlongs over a good surface. Came back, stretched out to the mile, and didn't fare so well. But I'm willing to draw a line through it just because the race I don't think is loaded with talent. And then number 2, Rio Bueno, off the shelf. Now this one was claimed last start for $5,000 up in Indiana where he was second. He is 11 times in the money out of 17 starts, and this is another one making the synthetic debut, but is training here locally for Peggy Pate, and Azelle De Leon with a winner on the card the night before last has the call. 6-3-2 for me in the opener. I'll probably add the 7 in the pick 5 as well. Now, race number 2 every night here at the track starts the early pick 4, just 14% takeout on that wager. And race number 2 is a maiden 2-year-old claimer, $30,000 to go, 6 furlongs, no changes. And the morning line favorite 2-1 is Crypto, and I think rightfully so. This one was the beaten favorite at Churchill last start on debut. Made a bunch of pace. That was on the turf, but made the pace and then kind of spit it. You know, speed and fade first time out, 6 beaten 7 lengths. I'm going to use the horse. I like second time start horses. This one has been training very well. Most recently, Bullet Drill here on December 14th, 5 furlongs, the best of 47 that day. Prior to that was 101 and 3, and did show another 5/8 works here the time before. This one will be ready, coming out of a loaded race on debut. Aximo came back and win the stake prep for the 2-year-olds over there, and a horse that raced against Aximo in his subsequent start in that stake prep ran here last night for Wesley Ward. That horse was third in that race, came back and won a first level 2-year-old allowance race here last night, so that was a really, really good race. Field Pass came back and won as well. This one on the class drop for the $30,000 level. Looks like a free space in the pick 4 and pick 5. I'm going to single the horse probably as well. This one racing for Aaron Wellman's Eclipse Thoroughbred partners in gets Gerardo Corrales, who is not well known to many here who follows just strictly the Kentucky circuit. But Gerardo Corrales has leading rider up at Thistledowns, currently the leading rider at Mahoney Valley, and Wesley Ward picked him out up there and has elected to bring him in, and that's his go-to rider here this meet. So Gerardo Corrales, look for him a lot more around here at Turfway, and he's well mounted again tonight. That's my top pick for second. I'm going to take a flyer and go with a firster from the Ray Hernandez barn. Ray Hernandez is a very, very good trainer, high percentage trainer. He has a couple of wins here from minimal starts already. This is the son of Metal Count. Abel Lascano has the call, and I'm just going to take a shot. The breeding doesn't scream the sprint distance to me, but I am going to use the horse. I like that work at the training center 2 back where it was second of 19 that day, 49 and 1. His horse is always ready to roll, and this one entered for 30 first out. I'm going to use for second. Now number 5, Celtic Mischief. This one was claimed last start for the $30,000 level where he was the beaten favorite, and that was going a mile. This horse is turning back to the 6 furlongs, and it is from the barn of John Hancock with Albin Jimenez. So 8, 11, 5 in race 2 for me. That does start the early pick 4. Now the third race from Turfway every night starts the 20-cent single 6, and that race, that wager has a carryover of $3,582. There was not a single winner last night. I think it did pay out multiple winners on there, so That one it did carry, again, $3,582. You can make that for a 20-cent base bet. Single six starts in race 3, and it's a a non-winners in 6 months, $5,000 claimer to go 6 furlongs. And in race 3, there are scratches in there, but it's simply the also eligibles. Numbers 13 and 14 are withdrawn. Number 8, Cedar Creek, my top pick, 7-2 on Mike's morning line. This one was third, beaten 4 lengths for the $7,500 level at Churchill Downs last start, going the mile, turning back to the 6 furlongs. But this horse has raced 6 furlongs. Hasn't won any at the distance, but 3 times a third from 5 starts. I think the class drop in for 5, and you add in that dated condition, and I think this horse fits very well here, Cedar Creek, with Martin Garcia for money gets. Now, number 2, Hardin. This one's shipping in from South Florida. Alexis Cordero Lopez has this one in for the 5 here, making the class drop. Lexi, that's a common move for him. He had a winner on the card last night with a horse making the second start of the meet that he did kind of the same thing, brought from South Florida, jams in for one of these dated 5 condition races, and a horse's fare very well here. Number 2, Hardin, a son of Hard Spun, making the synthetic debut, my second choice at 8-1. Now I'm going to take a flyer for third. I'm going to go for number 9, Strike Quiet, 20-1 on the morning line. This horse has never won on the synthetic, but has experience over it, just not here. Up in Chicago, he's raced 10 times with a second place finish in 2/3. And this is one taking a class drop I think will be forwardly placed with Rodney Prescott, 20-1. I'm going to use this horse as well, 8-9 in race 3. Tonight's 4th race is an open 18 down to 16 wide open claimant event to go a mile. In the 4th race, scratch numbers 9 and 11, and the 13 does draw in and race. This race, I'm going to go for number 5, Lil Mateo. This one's making a big class drop here for Matt Jacobson. Joe Rocco Jr. has the call. Now, this horse is a 4-year-old and very lightly raced. In fact, has only raced 9 times, but has 4 wins and 1 second place finish. And this one is dropping down to the $18,000 level after racing at Prescott, was 5th, beaten 8 lengths to a horse we're going to see here in the stake on the end of the month. Lanier was a dominant winner here last start, and Lanier, like I said, we'll see him at the end of the meet. He's a polytrack specialist. He loves this track. He, in fact, went up to Arlington, won the Grade 3 Hanshin. So Lil Mateo's been facing serious company on the class drop. I'm going to give him the edge. Number 6, So Caught Up in You, is an Indiana bred who's made $120,000 training here locally for Keith Kinman and Scooter Arnold and Andy Kohler. Now, this one is a 5-time winner from 21 starts, 10 for 21 in the money. He'll be a price, and I wanted to have some price values in behind Lil Mateo, who I think will take some action. Now, number 2, Gliding Alone. This one's an Ohio bred, made $200,000, 15 for 33 in the money, 5 wins, and it's another one that is making a class drop. This one, as you'll see, has raced here once at Turfway, was 3rd, and is only start here on the synthetic. I like the horses drawn to the inside. We'll get a perfect pace scenario up top. He'll be able to save some ground in the turn, and I think the race sets up for a closer. So I'm going to go 5-6-2, add some value in that exotics. Now, the 5th race from Turfway is a maiden filly and mare special weight, purse $46,000 to go a mile, and I think this is a spread race. Now, it's an ending leg of the early pick 5, early pick 4, and it starts the late pick 4. So if there's any race you want to be right on the program every night here at the track, it's the 5th. So I think this race is one you'll need to spread. You can make a case for several horses in here. And at number 1, Big Time Delivery, a daughter of gemologist, 3-year-old coming from the barn of Phil Sims, gets Joe Rocco Jr. up top. She was a 2nd place finisher last start at Churchill in a maiden special weight, coming off the layoff. I think she should move forward off that race. But like I said, this race is loaded with talent. I'm going to also use number 10, Macabre, this one coming from the barn of Matt Martinez, who had a victory here last night for G. Watts Humphrey Jr., gets leading jockey Alvin Jimenez. Now, this one has raced 11 times and been 6 times 3rd, so it doesn't look like she wants to win, but like I said, she is in a spot tonight where she does have a chance. She's making her synthetic debut and has been training very well over at Keeneland for her preparation for this race. I also use number 6, a steal. It's hard to ever leave Tommy Drury off the ticket, especially when he sends a well-bred horse like this out. This is a daughter of Bernardini out of a Harlan mare. She's owned by Arthur Hancock III's Stone Farm. Malcolm Franklin, his go-to rider, has the call. And she hasn't raced since October when racing up in New York, but has been 2 straight 5th place finishes up there, facing serious stiff company up there. And early on in her career, she was racing in a couple loaded races at Belmont. So I think the change in scenery will help her. I'm going to go 110.6. I'll probably add a couple other horses in that late pick 4. I think number 4, Magic Finish, you have to use at 12-1. I'm not real keen on the jockey there, but it is horse racing, not jockey racing. So I am going to add the horse. The horse was beat 4 lengths last start at Churchill. Coming off the layoff, was off at odds of 91-1. We won't get anywhere near that today, but she is one you definitely need to use on your ticket, number 4, Magic Finish. And then I'll probably throw in the 11, the other Drury, Madam Pie, as well in the pick 4. Tonight's 6th race is a allowance event, a money 3 times other than or non-4, or a claiming tag of $50,000. So go 6.5 furlongs. Couple of scratches in the 6th race. The 2, King Daddy, is the lone scratch. Number 2, King Daddy, is out. This is a race that is a very, very well-matched race. I end up giving the slight edge to number 8, Lambo, to the outside for Phil D'Amato. Alex Conchari has the call. This one exits a 4th place finish against Third Day at Churchill Downs. That was coming off a couple of month layoff when exiting a 6th place finish in a grade 2 stake event, beating just a couple of lengths. Lambo is on a great or. I'm going to give this one the slight edge. Then I'm going to lean towards number 3, Severe. This one was plucked for $50,000 by Mike Maker from Cipriano Contreras last start. I think this horse has had some time. This horse, if you go 2 back, he was a dominant runaway winner for the $40,000 level with Bridge that day. Sippy jammed this horse back in, coming off just 8 days rest for the 50. The horse showed some speed over. It was a sloppy track, coming back very quick. I'm willing to throw that race out. The horse was claimed, goes to the Maker barn now. Martin Garcia has the call, 8-3. And then I'm going to go for number 4, Unmoored. This is another one, has been changing barns a couple of times here in its past few starts, was most recently claimed from Hartman. This was a winner early on in the meet here and was claimed for the $40,000 by Gennaro Garcia. The horse was a winner, but gets the apprentice up top today, so gets a break in weight, a 7-pound weight allowance, Unmoored, 7-2. My third choice, 8-3-4 in race number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to take a little pause for the cause here, and I ask that you please rise, kindly remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into Turfway Park. The mutual windows are open. Tonight is Dollar Day here at the track. $1 soft drinks, $1 beers, $1 hot dogs, and also $1 win, place, show bets here at the track. 8 races on the card, temperature mid-40 degrees. A great night for racing from Florence, Kentucky, and first post is in 27 minutes. Fast poly track, and if you'll open up your racing programs, I'll give you tonight's late program changes. First race, start of the pick 5, pair of scratches. Take out number 4, Suzdal. and number 5, Keatley. Numbers 4 and 5 out of race 1. Second race, start of the early pick 4, no changes. Race 2 is clear. If you'll turn your programs to race 3, start of the single 6, carry over nearly $3,600 in that wager. Overweight for number 4, Private Spot, that jockey 3 pounds overweight. And scratch numbers 13 and 14. Numbers 13 and 14 are scratched from the third. Fourth race, scratch number 9, Prince Arlo. Race 4, draw a line through number 9, Prince Arlo. Also take out the 11, Adulator. Number 11, Adulator is scratched. And AE 13, Levanto draws in, 13 will race. In the fifth race, start of the late pick 4, simply scratch the also eligibles, number 13, Between the Hedges, and number 14, Kitten on Call. Scratch 13, 14 from race 5. Race number 6, scratch number 2, King Daddy. Scratch number 2, King Daddy. In the seventh race, sponsored by O'Rourke Reeking, number 9, Hokulea has been scratched, or Hokuli rather. Scratch number 9. Also scratch number 13, Hayden's Havoc. And scratch number 14, Mock Tree. Seventh race, scratch numbers 9, 13, and 14. In the eighth and final, please note the high five carryover just shy of $2,500. Sponsored by Conveyor Services Incorporated. Scratch number 1, Amigo Mike. Scratch number 13, Pointing at Pete. And it looks like there will be a jockey change on number 11, Holy Bowley. Again, number 8, Holy Bowley. There will be a rider to be announced. Also be aware number 14, Pull Me Back, draws in, will run. Those are the scratches and changes at this time. Any changes coming in throughout the balance of the program, I'll get those to you as they do so. First post 24 minutes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into Turfway Park's pre-race show once again. Prior to the National Anthem, we got through the first 6 races on the card. We'll take a look at the final 2 races here, starting with race number 7. It is a optional claimant allowance to go 6.5 furlongs. And I end up going with number 8, Can't Hide From Me, on top here. Larry Ravelli with a couple of wins at the meet from just 5 starts. And this is for longtime owner Patricia's Hope. And Alvin Jimenez, his go-to rider, has the call. Can't Hide From Me, a 3-time winner from 7 starts. And I think this horse is definitely the horse to beat in here. 7-2 on the morning line. Is 3.5 to 1, like I said. Comes from the Ravelli barn. You have to like this horse. All 3 wins in his career came on the synthetic. Hasn't raced here at Turfway, but Larry's horses are firing very well here, and this is my top pick. For second, I'm going to go for a bit of a long shot. Number 11, Shakes Creek, 8-1 on the morning line. This one comes from the barn of Gennaro Garcia. He claimed this one at 2 back for $20,000 off of Brad Cox. Ran the horse back on the stretch out of Indiana. Made the pace, was up and after the pace, and kind of faded and ran 4th, beaten 3 lengths. And that was to Laddie Boy, who's a very good horse, and I think Laddie Boy's changed hands a couple of times through the claim box. Shakes Creek's on the turn back at 6.5. Training here locally, gets a break in weight. I like the 8-1 on the morning line. Then I'm going to go for the morning line favorite, number 2, Uber Kirk, Kenny McPeak, off to a hot start here at the holiday meeting. Kenny has left a lot of horses back here this year that he normally hasn't done in the past several years with this increase in purses, and we've seen a active entry box here at the track, and Kenny has been no stranger to the entry box, has several horses entered this week and next week, the first couple of days, next Wednesday and Thursday. He has several entered as well. So Uberkirk for Kenny McPeak and Juan Machado, 5-2 morning line favorite. Third choice for me in race number 7. Now the 8th race has a high five carryover, just shy of $2,500. There's a scratch of the 1 and 13. And there will be a jockey change to be announced later on the 8 Holy Bully. I think this race all goes through the 3 right, the wrong. This one is making a big class drop. Was second, just beaten 2 lengths at Mountaineer last start. Time before it was third, beaten 3 lengths. Second the time before that at Belterra. But those races at Mountaineer generally aren't that tough, but there was a pretty good horse in the race last time that beat this one. That was Odie for Ethan West. That one was claimed, I think, for $15,000 at Churchill. Come back in a subsequent start and won. This horse chased him all the way around there, but did fight on pretty well to be second. Jams in for the nickel here, and I think it's graduation time for right the wrong for Nicola Fry and Emma Mulvey. For second, I'm going to the far, not the far outside, but outside to number 11, Depot Roads on a New Year's Day. Jason Cook, always dangerous. This one for longtime owner Ron McKee. And Alex Ashard has about, I think, 4 wins at the meet, already has the call. And this one is making a class drop. I think this horse will have a better change of form tonight, going 6.5 furlongs on the class drop. Now, number 14, Pull Me Back. I'm going to use this one as well. And I don't mind the outside draw going the 6.5 furlongs on Pull Me Back. He's a son of Hold Me Back. I think he may have needed that race last time at Churchill Downs for the 15 level. He was coming off a couple of months freshening, and I know he trains at a farm, but did get one under him for the 15 ball and didn't run that bad with 6, beating 8 lengths, and makes a drop for $7,500 here. And I think on the class drop alone, the horse fits, and he will be forwardly placed from the outside. Has a good outside draw, will stay out of the traffic trouble, and he's 8-1. My third choice, 8, 11, 14 in race number 8. Well, that's the way I see him for tonight. We'll be back on a couple of times throughout the card. Those of you just joining us, don't forget today's Dollar Day here at the track. $1 dogs, $1 beers, and don't forget those bets. $1 win, play, show bets here at the track. We have a single 6 carryover, high 5 carryover, 8 races on the card, and the menus. The menus will be here rocking the stage at about 9 o'clock. First post is in 19 minutes. Good luck.